What's up, y'all? This Martell Holt.
It's your girl, Arionne Curry.
The Scots asked.
And we delivered. Let's get into it.
At last, Arionne Curry is realizing the true nature of Martell Holt. And let's just say that she isn't hiding anything. Following years of supporting him, standing by him, and putting up with all the drama, it appears that she is prepared to sever ties permanently. We've been watching Arion and Martell alternate like a toxic soap opera for years, but this time, she's claiming to be done for good. However, we have heard that before.
Men, they come and go, but as women, we have to have a certain amount of respect for one another as to where, you're looking at a man like, regardless of what he told you, you have to get it together. And this too shall pass because Arionne been that bitch all her life.
As you can see, whenever Arionne tries to leave, something immediately draws her back in. And typically that something is Martell making sweet promises he never keeps, or simply control the situation to keep her waiting. This pattern has repeatedly been observed. She loses her temper, speaks up, and lets him vent. And then a few weeks later, they are seen together, or she is defending him online as if nothing had happened. She's speaking differently this time, though, and she's not just criticizing him. She's making it apparent that she wants to cut all ties with him. She is fed up with finding herself in the center of his chaos and having to wait while he keeps pursuing someone else. Furthermore, the way Martell handles her has always screamed convenience rather than love. Although she was there for him when he needed to get away, did he ever really pick her? No. She is also coming to the realization that being attached to him has caused more harm than good now that the dust is settled. But can she really break free? That's the real question. Since Martell is the kind to make sure you don't move on before him, let's not forget that he dislikes losing control. He needs someone to support him and still play into his games. So even if Arionne is sincere this time, he might not let her go so easily. If she is no longer that person, you can be sure he will make her regret it. Furthermore, it's possible that Arionne is finally awakening due in large part to Martell's continued obsession with Melody. How many years has it been, everyone, and this man still finds it impossible to move on? Although Martell says he is done with Melody, his behavior betrays this. Whenever we turn around, he is either making fun of her, attempting to pull her into needless drama, or acting like the victim as if he hadn't ruined his own marriage. As opposed to learning from his mistakes, he refuses to accept responsibility. His mindset is one of retaliation, as if Melody owes him something for her decision to move on. What's even more bizarre about this whole situation is that even though Ariana is beginning to realize that Martell won't change, he expects her to just sit there and take it while he's out here still obsessed with his ex-wife. With the hope that she would be the one he was genuinely committed to, she was the other woman for years. Currently, however, she is coming to the realization that she was merely a part of a cycle, one that she would be better off ending. Now what? Will Arionne eventually put herself first and permanently leave Martell, or will he somehow entice her back as he always does? Because Martell Holt is not the kind to let go easily, if history is any indication. The thing is this. Although Martell is always willing to leap to Arionne's defense, she doesn't stand up for him. The first person to hop on Instagram whenever Martell gets into trouble is Arionne. In an attempt to clear his name, he was live ranting and raving. We can't even count how many times she's done it. She'll go on the internet, criticize the bloggers, claim that we don't know the real Martell, and seem to be the only person who genuinely gets him. However, when people disparage her name online and she is the one who looks crazy for being connected to him, has Martell ever done the same for her? He's where? Instead of defending her, Martell lets her bear the brunt of the criticism while he plays the victim. It's not as though he doesn't see what's going on. He is well aware of how poorly Arionne is treated as a result of her relationship with him. Is he concerned though? Nope, because he's fine as long as she's there to clean up his mess and take the blame for his poor choices. What's worse is when she stands up to him or speaks her mind, he turns on her. He will make her feel as though she is the issue, ignore her, and gaslight her. Keeping her believing she must defend him while never returning the favor is a classic control strategy. And regrettably, Arionne has fallen for it repeatedly. Will she do so once more now? The real question is whether she's finally realizing that she's been standing up for someone who wouldn't do the same for her in a million years. If she is, you can bet that Martell will start to panic. And when you believe that things can't get any messier, there is also drama surrounding custody. Let's face it, does Martell truly want to give Melody full custody, or is this just another ploy to manipulate him? Arionne claims that Martell is thinking about doing so. You see, we know Martell is a control freak. He wants to be a full-time parent and doesn't want full custody because he wants to continue to complicate Melody's life. He has been dragging her through the legal system, refusing to co-parent amicably, and making a consistent effort to portray himself as the superior parent. On the other hand, he is suddenly considering giving in. Could it be that he's losing the fight? Or perhaps he's hoping that by appearing to give in, Melody will reclaim her space? In any case, something doesn't add up. Martell doesn't just let things go, particularly when it comes to Melody's control. Therefore, if he's suddenly thinking about giving her full custody, you can be sure that a game is being played because in the end, Martell's greatest fear isn't losing custody, but rather losing access to Melody's life. And that's what this whole situation is really about. Arionne is now at last discussing her decision to make her own decisions, leave Martell, and move on. I also want to think she's real. I genuinely hope she will, but will she do it this time? Since this story has been told to us previously. Arionne posts online every few months about how she's over Martell, how she's sick of being dragged through the mud, and how she deserves better, only to find herself back in his mess the next day. But this time she sounds a little different. She's acknowledging that she wasted years on him, that she was taken advantage of, that she wasn't as special as he made her feel, and that she was merely another tool in his toolbox. And that's the first step to true change, admitting you were mistaken. Remember, for a long time, Ariana thought she had won. She thought Martell was going to leave Melody and that she would live this idyllic life with him. She was left out in the cold, dragged around on social media, and had to deal with a man who still couldn't show her even the most basic respect. Her current statement is that she is prepared to move on, but doing so requires more than just words. It requires deeds. Arionne must cut off Martell entirely if she is sincere. She must stop defending him, offering him justifications, allowing him to have any access to her life, and, above all, accepting true responsibility. Yes, Martell did her dirty, but she was also involved in this. She helped him treat Melody disrespectfully. She watched as he tore another woman through hell, and she believed she was different. Now she's learning the hard way that if he could do it to Melody, he could do it to her as well. Furthermore, it's not just about Arionne. Martell exhibits a pattern, and the true question is why women continue to support him. Because of this man's history. He has cheated, lied, and attempted to destroy Melody the instant she stopped putting up with his mess. He has done this to every woman in his life. While he pretended to be innocent, he kept Arionne on a leash, played mind games with her, and allowed her to handle all the criticism from the public. The question now is not whether Martell will change, but rather whether the women in his life will finally stop falling for his trick, despite the fact that another woman is always willing to give him a chance. So, is this truly the end, or is this just another instance of I'm done before she is dragged back in? Because let's face it, Arionne has stated this before. She has talked about choosing herself, moving on, and getting over Martell's drama, but she always finds herself back in the middle. She struggles to completely leave him, as evidenced by her social media tirades and minor blunders that indicate she's still involved with him, but this time something feels different. Perhaps she is simply sick of fighting for a man who won't even properly claim her, or perhaps she is finally realizing that Martell isn't changing as a result of the years of humiliation. Whatever it is, this could serve as a wake-up call for her. But what she does, not what she says, is the true test. Will she resume defending him online next month, or is she going to finally cut him off permanently? Please let me know if you believe Arionne is finally escaping or if she will simply return to her previous situation. Please share in the comments.